Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Maharaj. Prabhuji, we are reading today Caitanya Charitamrta, Antya Lila, second chapter, 7, verse 7 onwards. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your association in the call.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome all the devotees in Chaitanya Charitamrta online Zoom class. We are serving Chaitanya Charitamrta Antya Lila, chapter 2, text 7 and on. Okay. Sakshat darsane sab jagat tarila ek bar je dekhila se kritartha haila. Sakshat darsane, by direct meetings, sab, all, jagat, the universe, tarila, he delivered.
Que estaba acá de mucho, ¿no? Traemos hielo que no sé.
Hare Krishna. Is everything okay, Mata?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Ekobar, once, J, anyone who, Dekhila, saw, She, he, Krito Artha, fully satisfied, Hoila, became. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present, anyone in the world who met him, even once, was fully satisfied and became spiritually advanced. Was fully satisfied and became spiritually advanced. So these are the two results given by having one's darshan of Lord Chaitanya by anyone. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from the deity. So once someone having darshan, is it possible that they are not completely satisfied? Or you have millions of people in Mayapur in every year, they have darshan of Panchatattva. Are they fully satisfied? And next is spiritually advanced. What does that mean, spiritually advanced? Kritartha, fully satisfied. Krita artha, fully satisfied. Grateful attitude develops also. Kritartha. I'm grateful, I'm kritagga. So let's see the next verse. Gaura desher bhaktagana pratabda asiya punaha gaura dese jai prabhure miliya. Every year devotees from Bengal would go to Jagannath Puri to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after the meeting, they would return to Bengal. Aranana desher loko asi Jagannatha Chaitanya charana dekhi hoila kritartha. That word is again repeated, kritartha. Similarly, people who went to Jagannath Puri from various provinces of India were fully satisfied after seeing the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Jagannath Puri, the people come to Jagannath Puri, not so much talking about having darshan of Jagannath, but seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are fully satisfied. So Mahaprabhu's prominent position is given. Okay, next verse has Prabhupada's purport, so we'll stop there. Saptadipe lok ar nava khandavasi deva gandharva kinnara manusya vese asi. Saptadipe lok, people from all of the 7 islands within the universe, Ara and Navakhandavasi, the inhabitants of the 9 khandas, Deva, demigods, Gandharva, the inhabitants of Gandharva Loka, Kinnara, the inhabitants of Kinnara Loka, Manusya Vese, in the form of human beings, Asi, coming. Srila Prabhupada translation and purport. People from all over the universe, including the 7 islands, the 9 khandas, the planets of the demigods, interesting, Gandharva Loka, Kinnara Loka, would go there in the form of human beings. Okay, and what happened there? For an explanation of Saptadip, Sri Madhya Lila, chapter 20, verse 218, and Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 16 and 20, in the Siddhanta ceremony, 1, Golodhai, in the Bhuvana Kosha section in 9 khandas are mentioned as follows. Oindram Kashero Shakalam Kilat Tamraparnam Annad Gavastimad Atascha Kumari Kaya Kaikyam Nagam Cha Socham Iha Varunamanta Khandam Gandharva Samagyaniti Bharatavarsha Madhe. Within Bharatvarsha there are 9 khandas. They are known as Indra, Keshendra, Tamrapana, Gavistamat, Kumarika, Naga, Somma, Paruna, and Gandharva. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gyenanjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sha Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitangsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpa Taruvescha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I remember Many years back, we used to do study group for like almost 10 years we did. Few study group we had in Alachua. And few devotees raised this question. When Mahaprabhu came, it says that the whole world was delivered. And Columbus was also in the West discovering his new world. America was not known to the world the way America is now. America was there, but was not named as America. There was a those tantric worshipper Indians, Yudhishthira Maharaj's time, they escaped from the India. But Bharatvarsha means also this planet. Bharatvarsha doesn't mean that localized British designated in India. Bharatvarsha was the whole planet. So Srila Prabhupada here mentioned very interestingly that question raised, the Columbus was there, but was he delivered? Was the American Indians delivered? The British were delivered? Everybody was delivered, or how to understand this? So we need to see a few things. Here Prabhupada writes, within Bharatvarsha there are 9 khandas. Within Bharatvarsha also means a Jambudip. Bharatvarsha also sometimes means Bhumandal. Sometimes we have to see the reference. Like for an example, if somebody calls me from India, oh, where are you speaking from? I can say I'm from America. But America is such a vast, if they ask more specific, where are you in Florida, in Alachua, in a one small house, in Alachua, like this, more precise. So sometimes when we hear Bhumandal, Bharatvarsha, Bhuloko, we should not be confused. It depends on the reference, what is referring. So here Prabhupada says 9 khanda, not in a sense like a 9 little state in India, modern India. It is also means the Bhumandal where there is a Sapta Dip, and one dip is called Jambudip, and Jambudip is also known as Bharatvarsha. There are 9 islands. And one island is this planet. The middle of that 9 is Ilabriti Varsha, where Brahmaji has an office. It is not Brahmaloka in the pinnacle of this universe, where Brahmapuri is there. Brahmaji is there just like a busy man or responsible man in this world. Bill Gates or anyone who has a house and he has an office. So he goes sometime to the office. We have to understand from that angle. So then we can reconcile all these pastimes. Like it says that the Mother Bhumi, she was, when she was feeling heavily tortured by the demoniac sons, children, then she wanted to invite the Lord to help her to discipline them. The purpose of the children were lost. So then she went to the Brahmaji to pray. She took the form of a cow. Now, if you think like by the time she went to Brahmaloka and come back to pacify, there's so many millions. Yoga, Sattatreta, the Dwapara Kali already finished. It would not be this Dwapara that we think. So we have to understand Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur giving that clearance that no, Mother Bhumi Devi went to the Brahmaji's office. The Ilabriti Varsha is made of gold, solid gold. 20,000 jujanas, 8 miles is 1 jujanas. So 20,000 jujanas is below the ground and 80,000 jujanas above the ground, total 100,000 jujanas. And above, on top, is Brahmapuri office, not the Brahmaloka, not the home of Brahmaloka. where Brahmaji comes, and there is a 4 responsible officers are there, Indra, Varun, like this, Jamaraj. And then all the demigod also has their own office, small office. I mean, small is not small, it's bigger than America. Giant bigger than, much bigger than America. So they have their office and they run. Now you may think like, how come they're all here in Bhumandala? Why, what happened to the whole universe? Because Bhumandala is the only place, especially this planet right now here, is the only place you buy ticket to go anywhere you want to go. Nobody goes from heaven to hell to suffer or hell to heaven to enjoy. The responsible officers is that's difference. Like the police officer or high court judge can go to the jail, but they are not going as a criminal, or they are not searched or given that kind of, rather they are given a special facility. They have a right to go in and out as a responsible officer. So similarly, this is the only planet that everybody is buying ticket, and we should be very aware what ticket we need to buy, where we want to go, and it has to have a free choice. That's why in Calcutta, book table, maybe 30 years back, 35, maybe 38 years back, 82, 83, 90 something. I remember we used to do a big book table in the book fair in Calcutta, Maidan. And we used to have our beautiful Hindi, English, Bengali books. And right next to us is full 100% Mayavadi books from Krishna Mission Sarvai. And then the right other side is Bharat Sevashram, is another impersonal conceptions. It's always bothered me, but now of course it doesn't bother anymore. No, this is a place where the free will are fully given opportunity as a human being. Just like when we took birth, first birth is given, one place Prabhupada mentioned as a Brahmaji, another place is a human, where actually karma begins. Karma is not applicable to the animals and trees and others, only to the humans. So that's why all these things are given, is very important. Now here the whole concept of 13th chapter of Antya Lila is nothing but main focus that associates of Lord Chaitanya who has loved awaken fully and awakening in their contact with the other souls and making them fortune. This 9 quality, one who has love, one who has bhava awakened, is fully manifested. This is the focus point in the Antya Lila chapter, first 13th chapter, 13th chapter has this mostly. How they relate to Lord. So these 9 symptoms of Prema Ankur, one who has awakened their bhava. These are the symptoms. So in between, of course, all these details are given, like who else came to get. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was taking sannyas, the day, the night, how do you say? Yes, night before, well, he left early morning. In Vedic calendar, sunrise to sunset, sunrise to sunrise is day counted. So, but in the Gregorian calendar, Western calendar, they go to the sunset to sunset. Like 1 a.m. is not considered 1 a.m. in Somo calendar, or those who based on the lunar calendar. It will be considered still night or previous. And the sunrise is the new day began. But in America, 1 a.m. considered today is 1 a.m., even though it's a night, but still considered this day. So it's different. Anyway, just to make it understanding that Mahaprabhu, that night before, he was leaving, he says, Lakha Koti, the millions and millions of devotees came to have his darshan. Why it is so significant? Because Mahaprabhu's beautiful form, Sachinandan, is for those devotees who are in a highest order of Radha Krishna Upasak. And their Bostu Siddhi is taking place. Means they are Mahaprabhu going to accept their offerings, or Mahaprabhu going to accept them. And then they have entrance to the Setaddeep, Golok Vrindavan. Between Radha Kund and Sam Kund, there is another place called Setaddeep, where Mahaprabhu is eternally reside there as Radha Krishna together. They completely blended into a ecstatic form where Radha Krishna lost their identity when they were inquiring. Radharani is asking, who am I? Am I Radha or Krishna? And Krishna is asking also, why? Prema Amrita Plavanat. Plavanat means is flooded, that's why. So that Mahaprabhu met all this. Of course, in Navadvip was not a millions of people lived there physically at that time, but Jogomaya's arrangement, they all came. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also delivered millions of impersonalists just by forcing them to think of him, by doing some mischievous activity like lock up their door from outside, pulling their leg while they're chanting Gayatri. Of course, I have to give warning, anybody listen this, but don't ever do this, because this is a great offense when somebody chanting Gayatri and you disturb them, pulling their leg or spitting water on them. But Mahaprabhu did this out of his extreme compassion, because they are impersonalists. They're hardcore impersonalists. They do not believe in ultimate. They are not offender necessarily. Mayavadis are offender. Brahmavadis are not offender. But they believe both. But they think origin is impersonal. So that is a fault in them. Bhagavatam removed that. Aho nanda gopo brajastinam jat mitrani paramananda purna brahma sanatana. This Purna Brahma is playing Nanda Maharaja's courtyard. Not only Brahman, it is Purna Brahman. So this is called origin of Brahman. It's Nanda Maharaja's son. So those who don't understand that concept, this is Vaishnava view, of course. Impersonalists do not see that. So for them, Mahaprabhu is also merciful because they have a genuine desire. They're not offender, they're not Mayavadis, but they're just Brahmavadis, impersonalists. But some or other Mahaprabhu, because he wanted to give mercy, Jogomaya arranged them to take birth in Navadvip or to visit Navadvip, and they some or other got delivered. They are forced to, they got up in the morning, the door is locked, and those days the toilet is not within the house, toilet is outside, maybe half mile something, early morning. Evolution, they could not do it. They cannot open the door because somebody locked the door from the outside. Generally, this never happened. So they're making noise to wake them up, and then the wife and the children say, "What's going on?" And then wife get upset. "Why are you waking up the children? Brahma Muhurta time. It's okay for you, but not for them. They need to rest. The children, growing children, they need to grow up in order to maybe rest a little longer or something like that." Maybe Ayurveda recommends that. That's okay. So anyway, so then the Brahmanas, but 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, nothing opening. Then they see through the window. Vishwambar is giggling outside. Ha ha ha. And they're like forcing themselves to think of this Jagannath Mishra's son. So they come from all these places. Different Indra, Kashero, Tamraparna, Govastimat, Kumarika, Naga, Somma, Varuna, Gandharva. Prabhupada writes all these beautiful places. So they come, they travel, they come. Jogomaya arranged them, inspired them to come. They got delivered. So I want to address few things. First of all, let's see how Mahaprabhu came to deliver. And if we have time, we can discuss a little bit what are the 9 symptoms. Why? Because when we serve Chaitanya Charitamrita, what is Chaitanya Charitamrita? Srila Prabhupada writes, Chaitanya Charitamrita is a remnants of Mahaprabhu's relishing in the mood of Radharani, what he came to relish, the Krishna's desperate eagerness to taste the love that Srimati Radharani has, which way million times more than he possesses love for her. So he wanted to taste that, also the sweetness that he has for sweetness, that she alone relishes through her love. He wants to get that, her love, so he can taste it. Then the third one is the ecstatic situation that she is drowning after relishing this sweetness that is eternally within Krishna. So this greed made Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prema rasa nirjas karite asadhan ragamarga bhakti luke karite pracharan rasika shekhara Krishna parama karun ei dui hetu hoite ichhar udgam. These are the 2 causes, main causes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 4 that explains this. Prema rasa nirjas, he wanted to relish the essence, nirjas, the essence of prema rasa. And he had to steal, of course, Srimati Radharani's mood. Now, Radharani, in the conversation, she said, just stealing the mood is not enough. You won't be able to relish because your body is so soft, so well, so perfect. But to relish this Madhunakya Mahava, Madana, Mohana, Madhunakya, all these stages, there are 4 stages only itself in Mahabhav. This body cannot. So I have to cover your body. So, because you can think of logic, what is the need of getting the dhuti, color? The bhav is not enough. We are looking for bhav to arise within us, which is all along within us. But no, color is also needed for Mahaprabhu because his skin, his body is too soft, too delicate. But Radharani's body is also delicate and soft, but it's a tough. There's a hardness and toughness. There's a big deal. Just like you can put a needle through a shoe, through a regular shoes. A needle can go through, but needle cannot go through a like silver glass here. I cannot put the needle through. So, if I take this glass and I throw it from 10 feet far from here, what will happen? It will shatter. Means the glass is not tough, it's hard. There's a hardness and toughness is difference. But if I throw the shoes 10 feet from here, what happened? Nothing. It's very tough, but not hard. Glass is hard, shoes is tough. So the Krishna's body is very soft, but not tough. Of course, he comes as a Nishingadev. He has all these things, but it is not manifested in Brajananandan. Another example, I think many years back I read that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave like Ganges water. If you go to Ganges, which I used to go a lot, in the Ganges water, if you drink Ganges water, you don't see any taste but sweet, very sweet, nectarian taste. But if you take one glass of salty water and you dump it to the Ganges and then wash it and then drink it from the same spot, but you will not find any salty taste anymore. Now the question comes, didn't I just pour the salt water? But the amount of the Ganges water, the amount of sweetness is 99.99%, where the saltiness is so little. So the experience of saltiness is almost not there. You'll never find in Ganges water saltiness, but salt is there. So similarly, the Supreme Absolute Truth, His beauty, His compassion, His kindness, His loveliness, His endearing quality, His enchanting quality is so adorable that those anger, like Nishingadev, or other qualities that people don't like, those are origin also in Krishna. Has to be everything in Krishna. But their so minute degree is almost like invisible. But when he comes as a Nishingadev, yes, you can see. Even Lakshmi Devi had a doubt. How is possible my husband fight with a big demon? I heard Narad Muni just said. I don't understand how. His feet is so adorable, so soft, so fragrance, lotus. Navapankaja Navaya, Navapankaja Maline. The Nava Angraya means the lotus feet also has a aroma of lotus. Feet has a aroma of a lotus. It has a look of a lotus. Means it's so attracting, you don't want to stop looking. There's nothing important for million and billion years but to look at the lotus feet, or his navel, or his eyes, or his flower garland, maline. So similarly, all these verses, because the Krishna's main features, 99.99%, the qualities that everybody wants this in this world, are attracted to it. But it all resources in Krishna. Rasa Vaishaha. He is indeed the embodiment of all those. Prema Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, Guna Madhuri, Lila Madhuri, all this. So we have to understand from that angle. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to deliver 3 ways. In this chapter, we just read the 3 ways he is delivering: by appearing himself, by his personal presence. Appearance and personal presence are different. Avirbhav means he was not visible. Now looks like he became visible and again disappearing. But when he Sakshat means when he was present physically 48 years, he delivered everybody and anybody. Now the origin question I'm going to address a little bit, that Columbus was here. Was he delivered all these people the same time? Lord, it says the whole world was delivered. Delivered in a sense, just like if a poor beggar is sleeping and he's in deep sleep, and a rich man brought a $1 million, said $5 million check. Now this man hardly can make $100 a day by standing in the street corner, and somebody just left $10 million check for him. Whole life is set. He's so rich, he doesn't have to work. But what would you call him rich now? In one sense, yes, because the check belongs to him. In another sense, no, he's still poor because he doesn't know that somebody left the check. He has to wake up. So he says that the conditioned souls are in 3 stages: Jagrita, Sushupti, Shapna. Either they're dreaming. Dreaming means romanticizing the world. I mean, I used to do that many decades back, I remember. I used to see an opportunity to enjoy everything. You can have more houses, more. It's nothing wrong, don't misunderstand, but if it is directed to Krishna. And if it is not, it will itself pull us down to the material world. Because there is nothing to be romanticizing in the bathroom. This world is considered like a prison hospital or bathroom. That's how the acharyas explain. And if you deeply think about it, what is the romanticizing about in the prison or in a mental hospital? But the karma idea promote their mind to romanticize. They see everything to enjoy in life. They think their time is running out. I just need to have work so hard to make the money. So there is always shortage of either money or the time or the health. They say when somebody is old, he has money, he has the time, but his health is finished. But when he's young, he doesn't have much time. He has some money and he has a health, but the time is very crucial. And when he is young, very young, teenager or something, he wants to enjoy, but he doesn't have money. So always there is something lacking, because this world is not made for human being, at least, to enjoy. Human life purpose is Athato Brahma Jigyasa, to wake up. Wake up what? Jeev Jago for what? To awaken that love that Mahaprabhu left for us, that $10 million check. We need to wake up. Then we need to get trained how to go to a bank. Bank has to open. Bank probably never easily cash $10 million check. There has to be some kind of a investigation. They will do all kinds of, anyway. So this education is required. So either people are in dream and deep sleep, or they're just sleeping. And if they're not awake, then they did not get love of Godhead. So those who were awake, they went back home, back to Godhead. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, for 400 years, this world was in dark age. Now it started again. And Srila Prabhupada reconfirmed that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the one who awakened, revived Lord Chaitanya's movement. So in this verse it says, the few things I'm going to mention this, very important, that yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to deliver Krishna consciousness, love of Godhead to us. And actually there is evidence I'm going to give you, that Adi Lila chapter 4, 39 or 40, I think 40, Se dware achandale kirtana sanchare nama prema malagati parailo sansare. Se dware achandale. And very clearly understood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he spread this Krishna consciousness. Even achandale. Achandale means, achandale doesn't mean like one who eats, a dog eater. That's a one definition. Achandale means you don't want that person in your neighborhood. Like if you have a young girls and there is a rapist, your neighbor, you feel not comfortable. You rather don't want any rapist, if you have a young girl in the house, to be around or in this road. If you have a young children and there is a child molester or child abuser, you don't want him to. These are called achandal. Achandal doesn't mean like a don't eat dog. Eat dogs like this. That's also achandal. That's also true. So means unwanted, because one professor and his wife, they wrote something about Rama and Sita Devi, and they were like disturbed. This Sahamaran and all these things they are casting. It's not clear. That doesn't sound good. I said, no, everything is perfect in Vedic culture. You need to see it through the Vedic glasses, not non-Vedic way. You cannot find that way. Everything has a harmonious lifestyle for ultimate benefit. And everybody who is under the spiritual wonderful leaders and Vedic society, Varnashram Dharma, everybody was benefited. Everybody was included, everybody was benefited. It's just that we think of from the modern angle is wrong, like untouchable. It's not untouchable, it means their characters. So I use that example. I said, if you have a serial murderer next door, would you like to invite him to your house and you have children and others that you don't know who he is going to kill? No, you don't feel. So like this, untouchable is not like this, that somebody is poor. It became, the modern system, maybe imitation is they don't understand. But origin had a reason why everybody according to their guna karma has to be categorized. There is a reason. Because it's a conscious evolution has to take place. So there, it says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he owed a wreath of the holy name and love of Godhead, and with which he garlanded the entire material world. So let me ask the audience, if Mahaprabhu has garlanded the whole planet with the love of Godhead and holy name, are you in the planet or outside the planet? Please ask that question to yourself. If you are inside the planet, then you are within the garland. Are you feeling an ecstasy of love of Godhead? And if you are not, Chaitanya Charitamrita cannot be a liar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not a liar. Even though in Jaggabalka says there is a 5 kinds of lie, is a what is that? Not punishable, but that's a very rare case. But this is not the question. Question is, Mahaprabhu never lied. He did. And Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, out of mercy, he also wrote that. That the whole planet is garlanded with this Nama Pran. So what do we have to do? We have to wake up. Otherwise you will never get. Even it says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Mahaprabhu was here, you think that Mahaprabhu gave love of Godhead freely. Yes. But there is a restriction. You look at it, Adi Lila chapter 17, text 35. I remember I was with Govinda Maharaj many years back, 40 years back probably. That kapat diya kirtan kore prema aveshe. I remember those verses. Kapat diya kirtan kore prema aveshe. In Sivas Thakur house, not everybody was allowed. And Prabhupada write translation of that verse, that ecstatic chanting was performed with the door closed, so that non-believers, unqualified, who make fun, cannot get in. Yes, it is free. At the same time, what is free and what is actually being sealed or closed behind the closed door? We have to understand this. That's why Srila Prabhupada very mercifully he explained this. Katakan rahi Prabhu Tarialingiya Vidaya Korila Tare Sanchirile. That Mahaprabhu is delivered all these people in 3 ways: by empowering them, by making them eligible. They have to do sadhana. It looks like a Mahaprabhu just gave a glimpse to someone and whole life he didn't do anything. He went back to sense gratification. No, that's not true. Delivered means he never went back to sense gratification. He has these 9 symptoms and he practiced these 9 symptoms, and those are the evidence that he is experiencing. Just like when you put the ice cream in your mouth, we don't have to teach you that, oh, you're supposed to feel tasty, okay? No, you don't have to tell. It is natural. When the ice cream comes in contact with the tongue, until ice cream comes on the tongue, you can explain. But explanation is one thing, experiencing is another thing. We need Krishna experience more than Krishna explanation. This Antolila is nothing but experience. Coming in the form of explanation, you can say, but we need to also wake up to experience this. Otherwise, when we are going to get this? Then Srila Prabhupada repeated this. He repeated this even with Sarvam Bhattacharya after he got delivered. And Prabhupada says, we must understand that when the potency of spiritual pleasure and knowledge, Sambit and Ladini, are both bestowed upon a conditioned soul, the conditioned soul can escape the clutches of external potency Maya, which acts as a cover obscuring one's spiritual identity. This is very important to remember that how this works actually. So these are the 9 symptoms I'm going to mention. as I mentioned, that we need more Krishna experience than Krishna explanation. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, these are the 9 following symptoms manifest in one's behavior. So you can check. I'm going to see if I can go very quick. There's a famous verse that many places, almost every chapter Prabhupada has this. Skanti abhartha kalatam viraktimana sunnata asabandha samutkanta namagane sadaruchi asakti tad gunakhane priti tad basati stale iti adda anubhava swer chat bhava ankura jane. First is Shanti, Skanti, not Shanti, Skanti. Skanti means tolerance in a simple way, you can say. Abhartha Kalattam means they do not waste any time. Always busy with Krishna consciousness. They maintain family, they work hard, whatever they do. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was going to court. He was not, oh, I'm just thinking of Krishna, I don't have to do this judging the... No. He was so precise, so good. The other judge, even British judge, was envious of his talent because what they took 1 hour to decide, he would finish in 5 minutes. Just by hearing the plaintiff and complaints. It was so genius. He was not negligence. Arjuna was not negligence. Well, I have to think of Krishna. Whether I shoot an arrow up or down, no. He says, Tasma sarvesu kalesu mam anusmara juddha cha. Anusmara juddha cha. In order to kill, you have to see the criminal. You have to see the enemy. But in order to kill the enemy without enmity feeling, it's art. It is not by karmis, gyanis. It is only devotee can do. Only Arjuna can do. On 1133, he says, you have to jitta satru. Jitta satru. You kill. You conquer over your enemy. You kill them. But then, after a few words, he says, nirvair. But no enmity feeling. So he is doing as a service to Krishna. But with attention, careful. He knows who need to be killed and he killed. But no enmity feeling. It's a very fine art. So, and they have a detachment. That is real detachment. Manasunnata, freedom from pride. In chapter 15, first canto, Arjuna is completely revealing that how that experience can be done. Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrta is nothing but expression of bhava and prem bhakti. So, in the first symptom of the person who has awakened bhava is a Prabhupada translated as a utilization of time. It's interesting. Kante also he used the word utilization of time. We can think many angles to look at it. That in Jaiva Dharma, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that when one remains peaceful, even when there is a cause for anger or mental agitation, means if you feel whatever degree one feels, that means he's advanced in that much. Prabhupada was sitting in Bombay. They got there was no temple at that time, but there was one rich man gave a little hall room for Prabhupada and his disciple to stay. So there's a telegraph came from Germany, and it says that the government raided the temple and took the money from donation box and from bank account. Prabhupada says, okay, Krishna gave the money. They collected for Mayapur. They did not send it to Mayapur. Krishna took it back. All right, next. And this is so funny because one devotee who was hearing this and he was observing Prabhupada for 3 months say because he's a very good friend of mine. And he said he was so Pran Govinda, I could not believe that Prabhupada never ever mentioned that, as if it's like it was not a big deal. Nothing disturbed, but he was disturbed for 3 months. How can government, police come and take all the money and doesn't disturb? Prabhupada knew everything, why he is doing things he is doing. And he had answered, a very conscious, thoughtful answer. So we can think, in Bhagavatam, there's so many examples. King Parikshit, Jarabharat, like the boy at night going with the knife around Prabhupada's room. Prabhupada was alone. Those days, Prabhupada didn't have a place to stay. So for a few days, he was staying in that apartment. And we don't know whether that boy was in drug or whatever it was. Then he even expressed, I can kill with this knife. But Prabhupada, in the middle of the night, he's chanting his rounds. He said, just put down those knives and chant. As if like nothing is like a little toy, or that man is playing with a toy or something. And of course, we don't know what happened. He jumped through the window and ran. Of course, he could have gone through the door and so many. Anyway, the point is that you can see those symptoms. In Mauritius, Prabhupada was going in a Rolls Royce. I believe that the minister, I don't know what kind of minister, he was a minister in the government, who gave that car to Prabhupada while he was there too. And in the sugarcane field, Mauritius is a field of sugarcane field, and the car got crashed, completely smashed. And Brahmananda Prabhu, he remembers, Brahmananda Maharaj, that Prabhupada was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Before the crash, during the crash, after the crash, as if nothing happens. He said, all right, so let's arrange for another car to go back because we have some preaching duty. It's like, this is called Skanti. So Skanti, Abhyartha Kalattam. Abhyartha Kalattam, I'm just going to give you just Prabhupada explanation that recently when I went to Vrindavan, I saw this devotee, Guru Kripa Maharaj is there. He comes every day for darshanarti, such a wonderful, dedicated soul to Prabhupada. Prabhupada always says, do not waste time. One who is very advanced, Vaishnava, they cannot bear to waste time, one moment. Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri had so much appreciation for Raghunath Das Goswami. His daily sadhana was what? 100,000 names of Krishna to offer 20,000 dandavat to the Vaishnavas. And then he would speak 2-3 hours of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila. Like this, he would hear from Saurabh Damodar and speak. So there was no time for waste. Prabhupada always very cautious. He even says anyone who want a success in this life, then you cannot waste time by sleeping. Prabhupada said to himself even when he went to sleep, I'm simply wasting time by sleeping now. He said he doesn't enjoy sleeping. He always wants to serve Krishna. And even Hansudat Maharaj, when he joined in the beginning, he's originally from Germany, but he joined in America. That he could not fall asleep for 3 days. And they saw Hare Krishnas on the road. So he came and they introduced to Prabhupada and told him that he could not go to sleep. Prabhupada was looking his eyes. Oh, you'll be okay. But actually you are in better shape. And this man was so shocked. He said, I am? He said, yes. Because in Vrindavan, the gopis, whole day, they are so busy of cooking, making plan, everything, and crying for Krishna. They pray to the God for Krishna's safety. And at night, whole night, they spend with Krishna in Rasa dance. So they never sleep. So this is our ultimate goal, no more sleep. But of course, then Prabhupada said, but we don't preach that. Because people will not understand. In spiritual realm, highest form of devotees, they never sleep. Even the coward boys, khana adarsanita dina sadasaha biharina tadeva jibikta putta vayasya brajavasina. That sloka says this khana, even for a moment, they never stay away from Krishna. Every moment. When they come back home, they bathe with their mother, they talk about Krishna, and they go to sleep together. And then the mother also goes to sleep in a dream, and the boy goes in a dream with Krishna, another play. There is night, day, there is always with Krishna. Not like me, going in a deep dark. Guru Kripa Maharaj, middle of the night, I mentioned this story before, Prabhupada called him. And he was a sannyasi that time. He said, "You are sannyasi, why are you sleeping so much?" He said, "I'm sleeping. This is the middle of the night, Prabhupada." He said, "So, middle of the night for me too. Sannyasi should not sleep too long. It is not healthy. They should be completely dedicated to serve." Say, "Prabhupada, I was working very hard during the day." Prabhupada said, "I was working hard too." And he didn't know what to say. That's true. Prabhupada was working whole day. And then he said, "Well, you are pure devotee, Prabhupada." Then Prabhupada looked at him and said, "Why you are not pure devotee?" So Guru Kripa Maharaj understood. Prabhupada wants us to advance, utilize every moment. Then he says, "Okay, Prabhupada, I'm ready. What do you want me to do?" Say, "Go back to sleep." But the point he made that, yes, don't waste too much time. Try sleeping as much, as little needed, 4 hours for sannyasi maybe, and average 6 hours, not more than that. Maybe children needs more. Anyway, I'm not here to speak about sleeping so much, but we should serve Krishna more. So Virakti, detachment has to come. Detachment is natural. If detachment is not happening, we should watch. What is detachment, first of all? Detachment means not you own nothing in this world. Mamata, possessiveness. It means nothing owns you. If you live at this moment, death just came, Krishna came in a death form, you should not have owned anything. Everything belongs to Krishna. The family, they're Krishna's family. Everything is offered to Krishna. That surrender is required. If that mood is there, then you are already getting in that bhava bhakti. That is what Mahaprabhu came to give. Renunciation means absence or death of false ego. So renunciation is not only for sannyasi, for every devotee. This is a necessary. Srila Prabhupada says one time, "I will not associate with anything that has no connection with Krishna." So like this. Why? Because attachment, material attachment, makes us psychologically rigid. Detachment makes us psychologically flexible. We need that. Detachment means, in that case, absence of emotional dependence, not absence of emotion. These are the few things that we must remember. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says that renunciation belongs to the spiritual world, inner world, the consciousness behind the action. It's freedom from self-centeredness, not from work. That's why Prabhupada also, another lecture, he said, renunciation is the result of genuine spiritual emotion. So these are the symptoms that we need to check. Manasunnata, how much pridelessness has awakened in us. We must check this. Absence of false prestige, pridelessness. To feel humble, free from longing for being shown respect. Someone who is advancing towards the level of bhava has no sense of pride. Now, I gave that example one time. I'm going to mention that if you remember. Sanatana Goswami Pad, when he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, did he say, I know who I am because I read Bhagavatam, which is true. He knew also, and he read Bhagavatam. Even before he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in a form of Brahmana and gave him Bhagavatam. This is long time back. Mahaprabhu was a grihastha those days. But when he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Benares, he said, Ke ami, kene amai jare trapatoy. I do not know who I am. Please help me, reveal to me. Was he faking or this is real humility? That is called manasunnata. Manasunnata, it's one of the prime quality in the advancement. It is a natural, genuine. It is not something to be imitation or something to like a imagination or something we fake. No, it is not. In Prabhupada's book, we definitely think like, oh, I have, when you give class or it's true. I also saw within me, like when you read something or somebody's reading, you hearing it. Oh, I heard that before. This is not good. We are limiting the Krishna's inconceivable potency. Why can't we say, okay, Krishna is allowing me to hear this? What is there for me? This I must learn. There must be something. When that humble approach is there, it will reveal. Otherwise, it becomes like a mundane sound passing through. So only when there is that level of humility, then it's kind of like a blank slate. Then you can actually learn and acquire the lessons they need to learn. So pridelessness, it's a necessary. Then Ashabandha, Prabhupada also this is another number 5, Ashabandha, great hope. The strong conviction that one will certainly receive the favor of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is called in Sanskrit Ashabandha. Asha, bandha, is bound, tight with that. That is required. It's compulsory. To be always certain that Krishna will bestow his mercy on oneself. One should have incredible hope. In spiritual life, there is always a gap between reality and the ideal. But a Vaishnava always has a great hope, and through the process, I will make it to where I want to go. For an example, Pradyumna Brahmachari, we are discussing today. In this chapter, you see Pradyumna Brahmachari. When Mahaprabhu left Jagannath Puri, he promised to the residents of Bengal that I will come back soon. So 1 year passed, no sign. 2 years passed, no sign. 3 years passed, no sign. No sign of Mahaprabhu. The residents of Bengal said, Mahaprabhu said, he will be back, but no sign. Pradyumna Brahmachari said, I will call Mahaprabhu here. I have a strong hope. The residents of Bengal asked, how is it possible? Pradyumna Brahmachari said, I have an incredible hope that through our devotion, that Mahaprabhu will appear. Can we do this? Yes, why not? Pradyumna Brahmachari went out to the market, got to the best ingredients, cooked amazing feast, put 3 plates. You'll see in few sloka later, this explains. Due to the 3 plates out for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he began his incredible devotion, called Mahaprabhu to Bengal. And due to the strength of his Manasa Seva in his mind, his incredible devotion, his great hope that Mahaprabhu will not fail to reciprocate with him, Mahaprabhu in fact appeared there. That great hope. We should have hope. In our lives, we come to the point where we lose hope. Sometimes it happens, many times I have tried. Oh, I don't think it was working. Oh, I should give up. When something is lifting weight, because recently I asked my son, like I'm getting little tummy, like how to stay fit. So he's going to take me to some exercise little more. So we come to the point, so I met this teacher, it was very nice. He explained very nice that when you feel you cannot do anymore. Somehow, in that state, you squeeze out one push up. I'm paraphrasing what he told me. That one push up you squeeze out in that moment does more for you than 30 or 40 you have done before that. Imagine you are so tired, but you could not finish 15 rounds. Oh, I want to, maybe I need to rest. No, I'm going to rest. No, I want to finish the last round, but I'm so tired. It's like, no, you go for finishing the rounds. You keep going. That is when actually you make significant spiritual advancement. But that's only possible when that great hope is there. And this is a sign that you are progressing. Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Prabhupada has many topics about it. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj was kind of like bending, not told Prabhupada that, oh, mothers, am I going out of time? It's 12:08.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can explain this.
Few more minutes, I'll try to finish with a few more minutes. So Srila Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, what hope is there? Instead of thinking of Krishna, I'm thinking of temple finances. He was running the Bombay temple those days. And it's so hard. And it's like a cleanliness, deity management, it's like so much pressure. And Prabhupada says, so many lifetimes we have wasted our lives. Now, for this one lifetime, let us work heart and soul to push on Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. And the end of your life, if you could not come up to awaken your full-fledged love for the Lord, Mahaprabhu will come personally and fill up the gap or lacking what you have. Ah, Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, all right, Prabhupada, I'm ready completely. I'll give my complete life. So they have done so much. Those are heroes. Those devotees have exhibited those. And if they did not ask Prabhupada, probably Prabhupada would not give this significance. So other three symptoms, in a short I'll say because of the time. 6 is utkanta. Utkanta means deep longing. This is very important, that we should have a deep longing. Brajabashis are always in utkanta. This is what Brajabashis are like, a natural, an intense eagerness to achieve. That kind of intense eagerness to achieve, ardent desire for attaining bhava. And then next one is Nama Ganesa Daruchi, attachment to chanting holy names of the Lord. And then next one is Asakti Tad Gunakhane Priti Tad Bhashuthistale. That you feel happy when you chant or when you do your japa or Krishna conscious activities. And you are always staying, you always love to live around the devotees. You don't feel like to go in an isolated room or secluded place and disappear. No, that means impersonalism is there. It's not possible somebody has a arising bhava and impersonalism also there side by side. That is not possible. They always love like this. They want to be always surrounded by the devotees. Temples, devotees, atmosphere are created for what? To learn, to give us the opportunity to learn how to cooperate. Otherwise, where are you going to learn? If you live in your own house, you only come once a week for a few days in the temple, and you think you learn cooperation, it's not possible. Cooperation you learn only when you are surrounded by the devotees. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. I hope I'm not disturbing somebody's comfort zone, but these are the 9 symptoms. It's compulsory to understand and see introspectively how much I have gain those quality in order to actually experience the bhava before I leave this world.
Very, very wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much for covering all these topics, and it was a very, very inspiring class. We hope to stay inspired and not lose out on that initial inspiration that comes after listening to a class. And I really pray that I continue to follow these. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your valuable time and association. Very grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mata.
Hare Krishna, Pran, Govinda, Prabhu. All glories to Prabhupada. All
Yeah.
glories to Christ. Thank you so much. This was such a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This was.
Oh, I know you. You're
Yes,
from
you did know me.
San Diego.
Yes, Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhu.
I used to live there. Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. This
Nice to
was.
see you. You know, I thought about your dad because I used to love him actually.
And he loved.
He was
He loved you too. Those were good times.
Yes.
Those were good times. Yes, very good times.
I feel so happy that I'm sure in this wherever he is, he's probably so happy that his oldest daughter became a devotee. That would probably make him the most happy person.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so too. I'm thinking he's probably dancing and chanting somewhere with Caitanya Mahaprabhu or doing something somewhere else, something like that.
Yes. Thank you, Mata.
Thank you. This was a class that I needed to hear because this was fantastic. I was, when you spoke about, the first part when you spoke about that this material, that the Bhuloka is a train station to get our ticket. That was, like certain points that really stuck in my mind. And then the point that you were explaining how the main point when you were talking about did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deliver everybody, and then you said he make them eligible, and that they have to awaken, and that was just a really, really powerful point for me. I think this also answers the question for me about Vasudeva Datta when he said, "Please deliver everybody." So this is that same understanding. Then yes, he gave everybody the opportunity. It's there. We just have to take it.
Yes.
So this is fantastic. So, and he made it easier, obviously.
Yes.
So thank you so much. This was very potent for me. And all glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Very, very beautiful, beautiful class. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for such a beautiful class. And your points were so nice that we can practice that you are talking about the last, even though our body is not feeling to do something, service or anything, you have to try, put your whole strength and do it. That really gives us the pleasure. And we need to have the hope on Krishna. At last, ultimately, we are not doing it. Krishna only doing it. But we need to put our faith and build up our energy and have association of devotees. So that's really very, very nice points, Prabhu. And the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, locking the door and all that pastimes were so nice. Thank you, Prabhu, for such a beautiful, beautiful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Prabhuji, I have a very quick question. So you were talking about how, Lord Chaitanya, he didn't give any restriction on the chanting of the holy names, but sometimes in his pastimes, it would say he would give restrictions to he wouldn't interact with certain type of people, like, women or like older case, and he wouldn't let like the other devotees interact with them. So how would they get Krishna Prema?
We can look at from different angle. The intention Mahaprabhu has for ultimate good, whether it appears anger or it appears loving embrace, does not matter. But how the operation will take place, that's a question of analytical study. Like for an example, let's take an example of Ramchandra Khan. Now Ramchandra Khan, he already did a grave offense against Haridas Thakur, you all know, by sending Lakkahira. Lakkahira is not an ordinary woman. She was a woman that no man could resist. She was so beautiful. And Ramchandra Khan wanted to destroy Haridas Thakur's fame, name, his chanting, his popularity amongst Hindus, because Ramchandra Khan come from a high-class Brahmana family, became a Muslim. So he wants all the high-class Brahmana, especially Hindus, they all become to Muslim. This is his misconception. So he took the last name Khan. But first name is still there, Ramchandra. Very interesting. So he committed a grave offense. But Mahaprabhu did not deliver directly to him. He delivered through Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu went there. Nityananda Prabhu went there knowing that he is the biggest offender. Nityananda Prabhu sat down there. And he would not come out from his house. He was a landlord, big jamindar. And the government, the Muslim government gave him higher position with more money and more facility. And he used to do Chandi worship, the Durga worship temple there. One thing Mahaprabhu going to use, what we have a weakness. Every devotee has a weakness and strength. One thing in our life, we have faced a weakest point in our life. Oh my God, this is horrible. Why I have this? I hope nobody knows. This is horrible. And then we have also our strength in devotional path. Something we have proven that this is good, and devotees are affected. I am happy about it, and we want to focus on that. You know, so in psychological world, the Ayurvedic and the Jyotirveda says, don't focus on what you are born with good planet. Counter the bad planet. This is Parashar philosophy. And Brigo philosophy is, no, look, bad are bad, but good are good. Why don't you make the good so big that bad will be like overshadow, nobody will see it. Okay, this is reality in our life also. We have some devotees are good in chanting, some devotees are good in dressing deities. They don't feel excited of chanting. Some are so good on cooking. They're not so good in chanting or singing, that's good in cooking. It's okay. We have a strength and we have a weakness. So we see that. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used that. So Ramchandra Khan had a one weakness, even though he became Muslim, but he hated eating cow. That he cannot tolerate. So when Nityananda Prabhu came to deliver him, but he did not come out. Nityananda Prabhu sent his messenger, tell him to come out to serve me some prasadam. Because his idea is that Mahaprabhu told him, go to Bengal and deliver. Because Bengalis are Ghorpurua, means they're stubborn. They are ignorantly stubborn. It's not just stubborn, they're ignorantly stubborn. Still today, some Bengalis are like this. So Nityananda Prabhu has a apparently cunning way, you know, but ultimately the purpose is served. Purpose is served. Just like Nityananda Prabhu would go to a Muslim girl and say, would you marry me? Nityananda Prabhu's smile and Nityananda Prabhu's attractive feature is so beautiful. Why would he go to a Muslim girl to say that? Because that girl whole life meditating on Nityananda Prabhu. And she make contagious to other Muslim girls, and that's how he delivered them. So that's Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu goes there, but he would not come out. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave a comment that Nityananda Prabhu felt bad, that how can I not deliver him? I want to deliver him, he would not come out. And he rather told the messenger, tell him this is not a free hotel. This is not a free hotel that the Hare Krishna people come and eat. You know, some people think, I hope they don't think, but they thought at that time, tell him to go somebody's house. I don't have a free meal for him. So Nityananda Prabhu left. Ramchandra Khan dig the dirt Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says, if those dirt that Nityananda Prabhu sat could save him, but Vinaskale Viparit Buddhi, means at the time of doing wrong, offensive nature, that their intelligence become crooked intelligence, means it itself destroyed them. So he engaged the servant to take all the dirt out where Nityananda Prabhu was sitting. No Vaishnava should be allowed in his palace area. Well, within a few days, the Muslim government sent the Qaji, another big Qaji, another governor, I think tax collector. And he said the Nawab sent the message to arrest him. But before arresting, he is very hungry and he came with all the other Muslims and they killed the cow in his house and cooked in his kitchen. Was the biggest torture he ever felt in his life. Because that was the weakest in his mind. And Mahaprabhu delivered him and he regretted from that incident. So I hope nobody has to go through too much of that kind of operation. Maybe they can just carve slowly. You know, Prabhupada introduced prasadam. It's so easy. You can almost convince anybody with prasadam. So ultimate purpose is they will get Krishna consciousness. Just like in Srivas Thakur house, when Mahaprabhu says, what qualification you have to enter in our group? He said, well, this brahmachari said, whole life I was depend on the drinking milk. I never cooked. I'm pakka brahmachari. The problem is his approach to attain the bhav through Mahaprabhu's entourage, Srivas, through intelligent approach. But it has to come from the heart. If he would immediately fell at the feet of Mahaprabhu, that I'm so sorry, Prabhu. Please forgive me. Please allow me. I don't know how to enter, but I want this love for God. Please help me. Then it would be easy at that moment. But he was using all logic, intelligent, and he was deprived at that moment. Of course, later on, they all regretted and came back with their heart. A heartful approach is not easy for everybody. It's a fact. Because people want calculation. What am I going to get if I surrender? Okay, I'll surrender completely in ISKCON, but what am I going to get? What is there? I have a good money and family, good income, everything is good. Why do I need to just completely dedicate? Dedicate doesn't mean you have to give up anything. It's just in your mind, ownership has to be changed. But it's not easy. We say it, but it's not easy. It's difficult. But ultimately, they all get. Now, how much time it takes, it depends on individual. Just like this Brahmana who was putting a logic with Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu says, I already mentioned that story, I think in this Bhakti Japa Sangha group one time, that Mahaprabhu says, why are you offering raw rice to Vishnu? He was a Nimai Pandit, a young boy. He said, why are you asking Nimai? He said, well, I wonder, like, if you eat the raw rice, or you have your wife cook a nice meal for you. He said, my wife cooks very nice meal for me. But you offering raw rice to Vishnu, salagram, and little candy. I don't know if you know, in the village, I saw many family. Even in our childhood life, I saw they would give little candy and little, something and to the Lord. But when we eat with a big meal, with the sabji, dal, pakora, everything. But to God, give something like they put it separate, some fruit or something. But they eat separate big meal. So Mahaprabhu says, what logic is this? You are eating a nice and you are offering God only this. Say, Nimai, you don't need to teach me. I am a Brahmana. I am a head Brahmana. You are just a young boy. He said, yes, but your logic doesn't make sense. If God is the object of love, why are you offering? He didn't know that he is Supreme Lord. So then he put a logic. Look, who knows God, who believes God, and who knows that God actually eat? And if God is really hungry, he has a wife, Lakshmi Devi can cook for him. So Mahaprabhu told him, your intelligent approach to understand this with the faithless logic, reasoning, it's like you show like a big body, but I see no intelligence. It's like an elephant. Elephant is a big body and small brain. So that Brahmana actually literally transform into a big elephant and disappear in the forest. After third life, third generation, Rasikananda Prabhu delivered that elephant. So it depends how much we want to put logic, argument, or we take the process as simple as a child takes from mother. I hope that answers you. Is that okay?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment for Prabhuji?
As usual, very touched to heart today that this is our last birth, and whether our health is support or not support, we have to just rememberize the Prabhupada at the age of 70. He's cooking food for not one or two, but when speaking devotion.
I can't.
28 to 30 Vaishnava Brahmanas. At the age of 70, Srila Prabhupada cook food, not only cook food but clean the vessels. So this is our last birth. We should not waste time, and our mood is how we serve nicely to Srila Prabhupada and Vaishnava. And whatever we learn from senior, we try to preach is very big word for me. We try to share with Vaishnava. Today, to heart Prabhuji, whether this but is support or not support, cook lots of prasadam, whatever seva Radhan is given, singing and cooking, whatever seva is given, we take benefit of that seva, and from bottom of heart we have to do that seva. This lesson today from you. Koti Koti Dandvat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Srila Guru.
Are we done for now, Mata? Or
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Actually, the point 9, this 9 kind of point, I was just last week, I just, while I was reading Bhagavatam, I was just putting in my note and then try to see every, whenever I have time. And again, it's Krishna's mercy, you explain whole 9 things. And very nicely explanation actually, Prabhuji. So really grateful with you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your association. Yes. We can in, maybe if there is no question or comment for Prabhuji, we can in paying our obeisances to all the devotees and His Grace Pran Govinda Prabhuji. Panchakalpa Turvescha Kripa Sindhu
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavyo
Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Gaur Pramana.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Grace Pran Govinda Prabhuji ki jai.